Today is a pretty special day in that it is the 10th anniversary of Fallout New Vegas, what many consider the best Fallout game ever released. To celebrate that, not only today will I have a pretty special update themed around it with some new announcements to come out from our favorite mods and even some pretty cool new releases, but also all throughout this week I should have some Fallout New Vegas themed videos, including several actually in New Vegas itself, that will hopefully get you interested in that game yet again or hyped for what it has on the horizon. So if you want to get subscribed, look out for some of those. It without a doubt is a good time to. But otherwise, why don't we take a look at some of the other content on its way, in particular some big updates from upcoming mods for Fallout 4 and even a newly released mod for Fallout 4. The first of which I want to go over is a big new reveal from the Fallout 4 New Vegas project. This being the mod project for Fallout 4 that is attempting to recreate Fallout New Vegas in its entirety in Fallout 4's engine. This mod project just did something particularly cool. On their Discord server, they had a bit of an ARG going on. Some clues sprinkled around with a specific account on their Discord, and then users had to solve a puzzle, or really a couple of puzzles. You can find a more in-depth description on what happened over the past couple of days with this on their Discord, but it involved some spectrograms, some code breaking, and as a pretty pleasant reward, we got some new images that we'll talk about in a moment, but even further, got a new gameplay trailer showing a lot of the progress made with the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod. If you haven't checked out the full trailer, I really encourage you to do so. I'll have it linked in the description of this video, but I'll be breaking down and actually comparing some aspects of that trailer to what Fallout New Vegas actually looks like. The trailer overall shows a lot, all kinds of new creatures recreated for the New Vegas experience, but also a lot of landscape, familiar locations that you probably remember and have explored numerous times. And of course, sprinkled all throughout are new and custom pieces of weapons and armor, several of which are actually out right now. In particular with the weapons, many you could download already for Fallout 4, which is a true testament to how much this mod is doing for the game already. But something I thought would be pretty cool and special is a comparison, comparing Fallout New Vegas by default to some of the screen grabs we can get from this most recent trailer. And do take into consideration, these are screen grabs from a video, so it'll never be the highest quality. But starting off, a really telling one is this shot at the Prospector Saloon in Goodsprings. And I feel like this reveals a lot, just right off the bat, how much of a difference and change the lighting overhauls brought with the Fallout 4 engine will have on this new mod. Now, of course, there's many things to take in from here, some of the environmental changes, how things are similar, but the big thing to stand out to me is just overall the lighting. It really is a huge upgrade from one game to the next, and this of course is without the benefits of ENBs or mods like Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth. Which, speaking of lighting upgrades, this shot of Nipton is another one that is very revealing, looking at Fallout New Vegas versus Fallout 4 New Vegas. We could really see that in Fallout 4 New Vegas, taking advantage of the updated lighting system, those reflections and the illuminance overall is just way better. And of course, more on display here, you also get a look at some of those recreated assets, the Super Sludge as well as one of the Legion outfits. Another pretty telling one, we have a comparison of the Repcon facility. And I feel like with this one, you could really see just some of the asset upgrades, whether it be using some of the assets from Fallout 4 or even newly created ones for this mod. How true to form they actually are, but also just how much better they look in Fallout 4's engine. Another pretty telling one is when fighting some of these geckos. Hard to get an exact shot at that location, but you can see overall the landscape and even rock upgrades. The weapon that's being held here was just recently released for Fallout 4. I actually made a video on it this past weekend. In that video actually highlighting several features from other games, whether it be New Vegas or even 76 that modders are bringing to Fallout 4. So I have it linked in the eye if you want to check it out. But also of course in these images and even in the trailer, you really can see just the sheer amount of recreation that has to happen for this mod. The Deathclaw models getting that upgrade and change to the New Vegas style, but even some of the more miscellaneous animals like ghouls, cazadors, and longhorns. One shot that is really telling, and I feel like people might overlook, is actually this one of the foliage. You can see a lot of the foliage in New Vegas was basic and kind of boring, just the same tree and same grass textures repeated over and over. Not that New Vegas has a ton of foliage, but it is hugely improved with Fallout 4 and specifically Fallout 4 New Vegas. Overall, I thought the trailer was truly awesome. It showcased a lot of things you could download right now, showcased a lot of the landscape and progress made on that, but even some stuff we really haven't seen before or haven't seen before in action, whether it be new creatures or even some of those new weapons that were put on display. Gets me very excited for the future of this mod, but that actually wasn't all they shared. shared. Similar to what I was doing, they also did have some before and after images shared on their Discord, from New Vegas to Fallout 4 New Vegas, and even on one from New Vegas to some of the stages it went through in Fallout 4 New Vegas, how it evolved or was created over time. Also just a flat image set showing off several interior locations that are on the way. Overall, I just want to say this is really cool to see from a mod project. Having some of these images come out over the past couple of days on their Discord, the ARG with the fans, getting some of the users to be interactive in this overall announcement and reveal. Although, if you want something a bit more tangible that you can get your hands on right now, separately we also saw the release of the Eddie companion for Fallout 4. This being from some of the developers of the Fallout 3 remake mod, but considering Eddie's not in Fallout 3, it is just a New Vegas inspired standalone mod, and it's a fairly simple one, but a pretty cool one. It adds an Eddie as a recruitable companion that you could find in the Commonwealth. There's a note that gives you a bit of backstory and lore on him. There's a few different customization options, so you can make him a more clean one or a few things added onto him. And although it's pretty simple, it is another one that will inspire some of that nostalgia. Another solid or good companion to just have in the background, carry your stuff, or even help you in a fight from time to time with some sounds to go along with it. Although another update or teaser we saw just recently was around the biggest mod coming to Fallout New Vegas, and really the biggest mod coming to Fallout just about ever. That of course being Fallout The Frontiers. They recently posted this trailer showcasing the size difference between Fallout The Frontier and just really showing why it is the biggest mod ever. If you're not familiar with The Frontier, I've made some larger, more in-depth videos on it in the past that I'll have also linked in the description, but really it's just a new Fallout game taking place in Portland, Oregon, this time a snowy environment where the environment will actually play a role, but also, as you could see from this video, featuring a lot. These cells, which coordinate with the playable world space of this, will be roughly the same size as Fallout 3. The records also almost being the same size as Fallout 3. It'll feature 163 new weapons, more than New Vegas or Fallout 3, and 350 armor, 75 creatures, 22,000 dialogue topics, and 24,000 voice lines, just under that of Fallout 3 overall. So hopefully some of those stats put it into perspective. This is literally going to be a new Fallout game, and the best part, right now they're shooting for a 2020 release date. It seems like as of right now, they're really focusing on voice work and actually patching some of the bugs with this, so it's not like there's been super glamorous teasers as of late, but there's definitely a lot known and shared about this in the past, and thus far everything we've seen looks great. Like, it really is going to be a unique but also familiar Fallout experience. But then last but not least, not really having anything to do with Fallout New Vegas or its 10th anniversary, we also do have an update from Fallout Miami that was just recently posted and felt pretty fitting to include towards the end of this video. Fallout Miami, if you're not familiar, being a Fallout 4 DLC sized mod and really functioning like a DLC for Fallout 4, except this time you'll play as the sole survivor in post-apocalyptic Miami. One of the first things they show off are some coconut masks, this of course being concept art, and it's described how the group who wears these are pretty infamous in the region. I love the design of these. I feel like this is such a cool idea that probably seems obvious now that we see it, but whoever thought of this definitely deserves a pat on the back. We see some concept art updates around some of the staff or inhabitants of the Sunshine Hotel and Casino, this being now known as Sunshine Cove, and it's going to be a slaver location in game, as you can see represented by those chains. And we get an updated look at the king of this location, that with Gabriel Goodman. While this location and really his seat as king is definitely threatened, I wouldn't be shocked if we play a role in whatever happens to him and the location overall in the DLC. We also get a look at some of the outfits being worn by a new faction with the Rovers, this seeming to be one of the smaller factions taking up home in a pirate ship restaurant, and are described as scavengers with a fierce reputation. We get a look at some plants, and this specifically just being some foliage you'll find throughout Miami. And I gotta say, these look awesome. I actually really like that they're taking this approach and seem to have quite a focus on some of the foliage. I think that's going to be one of the big things that makes it feel quite different and distinctive from the typical or more traditional Commonwealth or even other Fallout games. Another thing that'll make the area feel distinctive is brands, and we also get a look at Gascar, this being a competitor to Red Rocket owned by Poseidon Energy, so in all likelihood you'll find several of these sprinkled throughout Fallout Miami's landscape. We also get a look at some of the areas that will be in the center, the main town hub of Fallout Miami. We can see the center school, where of course children will be learning, and there'll be some interactions with NPCs, but then further some of the other businesses or stores you could find in the center, as well as a few shots of them overall. And I really think these are going to be some of the things to make Fallout Miami overall feel unique to Fallout 4's base game, not just another Red Rocket or some of the familiar brands we have seen throughout the franchise, but some unique ones, because because we're in Florida. And then lastly, they share some shots of the Cuban Liberation Museum. And this is pretty cool because I feel like it's one of those things that you could just not appreciate or not realize because of how well integrated it is. As we see this mural that was actually created for the mod, and it's being notable because I wouldn't be shocked if when this mod finally does release, many people walk through this not thinking much of it, not thinking about all the work that had to go into creating some of those custom assets, perhaps even thinking it was just from base Fallout 4. So overall, Fallout Miami is looking great. If you guys want to get some more real-time or up-to-date news on the mod, I will have their Discord and website linked down below. They just recently posted a trailer on their YouTube channel, which will also be linked down there. But overall, I thank you all for watching this one. Hopefully you found this video informative or enjoyable. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon with Fallout New Vegas, whether it be a remake of it or even some mods coming to it. But with that said, I thank you all for watching again, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.